Hi everyone, welcome to Northern Zen Yoga. My name is Sandra, and today I'm going to talk to you about the benefit of having props in a Yin Yoga class. Props are things that we can purchase or we can make ourselves in some cases to help to enhance the Yin Yoga process of being able to relax and relax and relax some more in order to stretch the fascia, stretch the body, stretch the muscles, and to accelerate our flexibility. Yin Yoga has lots of benefits, but one of the major benefits of a Yin Yoga class, dovetailed in with your regular yoga, is that you will see your flexibility increase tenfold. Now, if you're already flexible, can do yoga fairly easily, Yin Yoga helps you to maintain that ability without having to practice yoga on a daily basis, especially if you have situations where you're not always able to practice yoga daily. So one class of Yin Yoga a week will help to keep you ready and able to do your yoga class when you have time to do it. So anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about the props. Now, the props that we have, generally speaking, for a Yin Yoga class are fairly simple. We have a blanket. The blanket can be used in lots of different ways. It can be used to sit on, it can be used to put under your knees, it can be folded out into a little pad for your back if you're going to be spending some time laying on a mat and you have a hard floor underneath you. So a blanket is a must. It doesn't have to be a Mexican blanket, it can be any kind of blanket. It could be cotton, it could be fleece. Just think of it as something that you're going to use as a tool to help make life a little more comfortable for you. So a blanket is a must. The next thing I recommend to have for Yin Yoga is a block. A block has also a lot of uses during your regular yoga class, so it's a good investment, and they're not that expensive. These range, and this is one of those strong foam type blocks. These range from anywhere from $5 to $20, depending on how big it is, where you're buying it from. I always tell people, don't have to pay a lot of money. You can go to places like Marshall's or Winners, and you can find these sometimes in 2-packs, which is even better. 2 is even better, for $10. So check those things out before you go ordering a $20 foam block. Now, I always recommend that you get the 4-inch block. They come in a couple of sizes, a couple of thicknesses, but I like this one, about a 4-inch block, because it has a lot more stability, a lot less chance of it starting to get kind of squishy after a few uses, especially if you're using it to put in some of the yoga postures we do. For example, supported bridge pose or feet up in the air. So a block is a good one. The other thing I highly recommend, and if you can't afford to buy one, figure out a way to make one or have somebody you know who's handy with a sewing machine make one for you. This particular bolster I purchased at Half Moon Yoga in Canada, or it's Bee Yoga in the States. They have an online presence, they have lots of different covers that you can get, either solid or printed, and they're not cheap, so I'll warn you about that. But I've had this one for going on 7 years, and it's just now starting to show that little divot in the center where I've sat on it and sat on it and sat on it, and I do a lot of yoga, so this has had a lot of bum time. But besides sitting on this for different things that we're going to do in a Yin Yoga class, this becomes something that you can use that is very supportive in combination with a block. For example, in a forward fold position with wide legs, you can relax down onto your bolster either in front of you like this and rest your elbows on, or you can make it even more comfortable by using your block and elevating, and I'm sorry if I'm going to disappear, elevating the cushion the bolster a little bit higher so that you can relax your chest and your head on it. The other thing you can do is you can also do a very restorative position by sitting in the opposite way and turning this into a lazy boy chair type situation. So that you have your back on the bolster, you can relax your head back at the top of it, and you can have your legs either straight out or in a butterfly position for a very relaxing yin and restorative type posture. So bolsters, I know they're not cheap, but they're worth it. You can also think about making them. I have several people who follow me on YouTube that use this, their own homemade bolster. So what they've done is they've got some sleeping bags and they've folded them up, piled them up. I think it might take, depending on the size of the sleeping bag you grab, and you can get those really cheap at some of the discount stores. You fold them up into a pad, a nice solid pad, and then you make a cover to go around it and you put it inside until you find the right amount of solidness to the bolster. I made my first bolster and I used it for a while until I was able to justify to me that it was something that I used often enough to pay the price for this. This cost me, and this was going back 6 years ago, about $80. So think about your budget. Can your budget afford it? Would it be better served if you made a temporary one and saved up a few dollars over time to purchase one from a yoga company? But it's up to you. But it's a good investment. If I kept flipping this around and sat on this side, I would probably not have that little wow in the front that's happening now. You can see it. But this took 6 years of sitting almost every day on this bolster to make this happen. The thing you need, and really it's not even a necessary part of the Yin Yoga practice, is a mat. You can use a mat in Yin Yoga. Or if you have a really comfortable blanket that you'd like to lay down onto the floor, besides the one that you're going to use in the practice, you can use a blanket. You can even do a lot of the yoga practice in Yin on a couch, on a chair, or on your bed. So what you're sitting on in Yin is not as important as what you have underneath you when you're doing a regular yoga practice, where you're standing quite often and you have to rely on the mat to keep you from slipping and sliding. We don't do that in Yin. So props are important. Bolster definitely for Yin. A block definitely for yoga in general, for all yoga classes. And a mat for standing yoga, but for Yin Yoga, you can choose something else to sit on that might be more comfortable. And if you have a carpet, you have a small blanket on the carpet, that's probably more than you need as far as comfort goes. And don't forget, if you need a blanket, if you need some comfort in your life, you can. So, what if I don't have all of this stuff right now, but I like to do some Yin Yoga classes? Think of the things that you could substitute. For example, temporarily, a couple of really big hard-covered, thick hard-covered books could substitute in a lot of cases, particularly in Yin, for a block. I don't recommend that you use it long term, but in the short term, until you get yourself a block, you could use a couple of hardcover books. Now, the other thing you could use in place of a bolster is some cushions. The cushions, though, they should have some density to them. They shouldn't be the kind that are too feathery, too soft. This particular cushion is a bit too soft. Maybe for some things I could use it, but to lean into and to help support me would not probably work. However, if I was in, for example, a butterfly position, and I wanted something here just to relax my legs out onto that would have give, so that as my legs relax deeper onto the cushion, it doesn't eliminate it from being able to stretch deeper into the stretch. So cushions can be helpful too. Again, as I said, you could always make your own bolster by rolling up a blanket. It's kind of a heavier, denser type blanket, not too soft and squishy. And you could then tie off the ends with a couple of ribbons or something, and you could probably make a short-term bolster, or you could create one and sew one up for yourself. The other things that we use is really just fluff. You could get snafus. They're kind of a beanbag type sitting cushion that moves with you when you settle into it, and they come in different shapes. You could use those. You could use a meditation pad, although if you want to do any lying down positions, you got to get it out of the way, so it's kind of annoying. I've tried that a few times and I just end up, yeah, I'm not going to use that. So anyway, I hope this little video helped, and it gives you an idea that if you're going to practice Yin Yoga and it's your favorite Yin, is your favorite yoga, then it's worth it to get the props that you need in order to make the postures just that much more comfortable and that more doable. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Namaste.